See this tank right here, we've already pulled our corals out. We pulled the corals out yesterday, and we let this water continue to cycle overnight just to see what would happen. And as you see the foam that it's built up down here, it's got this brown grime on top of the foam. Now that's not usually the type of foam that we see in sea foam. Protein in the water will sometimes make foam like this, sea foam. But we don't see this brown tint to the top of it. And as you see likewise in this tank right here, we have an even thicker area of foam that's even blacker than what you saw down there in that bottom tank. And we believe again that this is what the corals are pushing out of their body and exuding back into the tank. We believe this is the oil that they ingested offshore that they're now pushing into these tanks and trying to get out of their body. So if you'll follow me over here, we've got coral on this tray that was harvested in June with the guys that you saw in this tank right here. And these are a lot of the ones that didn't make it. Those and these guys right here. This is the type of stuff that we harvest. Usually these are worth $10, $15 per colony on the wholesale lot. But because of this oil and stuff that they're having inside of them, we're not able to sell these because they would pollute the tanks that we put them into. And then we started seeing these orange streaks on it. And it's not just this one coral, it's several of these corals. Orange streaks, black spots. So let's pull out a couple more of these guys. So notice wherever it's white, that's where there was tissue, living tissue. Wherever it was dark, that's what had died already. So let's pull out one of these bigger pieces. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, here again. Here's the, look at that dark skeleton. This is not normal for our skeleton color. As you saw over here, let's see if we can, if we'll look back over here again. This is the color that it should be. A nice healthy brown. What this represents is this represents aerobic respiration. Respiration with oxygen. This is a healthy piece now after it's been able to push it, to push whatever was inside of it, what I believe is oil. And which we're fixing to look at here in just a second and to see if I'm right. Alright, now this Vertec light is a UV light to the frequency of what hydrocarbons would fluoresce under a UV light. So what we do is we blocked out the windows here so don't get any light in, and we want to look at these shells and these coral skeletons in order to determine if there's the potential of hydrocarbon contamination. Now if they fluoresce here in the yellow or in this orange zone, it's either coal tar or heavy tar balls. What we're looking for is to see if it falls in this orange range right here, or possibly something up here in this lighter blue range, which could be crude oil or diesel, which we know there is diesel and we know there is crude oil put into the environment. So that's the colors that we're looking for, either this white, light blue, I believe, and definitely this orange down here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take these protected eyewear, we're going to take this light, and we're going to shine it at these guys. And we're going to see what color they fluoresce. Alright. So for my camera guy, so I don't blind him also.
Let me take a break for a second.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the light off, and I'll go over there and I'm going to grab that light, and we're going to see what do we have in our samples. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh wow. What do we have here? Here's an oyster shell. Oh my gosh, this is what the oyster's eating and laying down in his shell. This is the inside of an oyster shell. And I don't know what that red is on top. Wow, that's interesting. But let's look right inside that oyster. There's the gap in between, and you notice that it's orange inside the shell. This oyster was alive, filtering out, looks to me like hydrocarbons. And look at this, more oyster shell fluorescent orange. More oyster shells fluorescent orange. More oyster shells. Wow, lots more oyster shells. More oyster shells. Oh wow, you know, that's what's eating it. The oyster shells represent where the hydrocarbons have been going. Look at that right there. And that's inside of it. I don't know if you can see that. We'll try to get it there, but oh wow, look over here. Yeah, there's what's picking it up. It's the oysters are the key. And this right here, let's see what we picked up here. This was an old oyster shell that was in the tank that was sitting on the bottom just for support, and it's even got a little bit of fluorescence in it, where it picked up from just sitting in the water with these guys. What they pushed out into the water polluted that one. Let's see here. We got a piece of coral here, a polyp, coral polyps that you see right here. And this little orange line right there, that's where the coral ingested the dispersed oil and pushed it down inside of its skeleton. Oh wow, look at the back side of that guy. He's fluorescing orange big time. Those two probably went together. That's your pair right there. Yep, look at it. I could tell that just by how much it fluoresced. Imagine that. Those two pieces right there. So let's take a look over here at this other coral. Oh wow, can you see that? I wonder if that's translating on the video. It's got orange bands that's fluorescing inside there where some of these polyps were picking up. Definitely that oyster there was picking it up. Down inside the skeleton there, it looks like it was picked up. Look at that dead polyp right there. This polyp was dead before. Looks like it ingested quite a bit of hydrocarbons and it may have killed it. Alright, how about the sponge? We got a sponge sample here. Oh yeah, there you go. The sponge picked it up pretty good. Look at that. Yep, it's in the sponge for sure.